Hello, today I'm going to show you how to make puff pastry, and then with our puff pastry we are going to make Palmiers cookies. Alright, so this is a multiple day lab. Today we're going to make the dough and our butter square. Tomorrow we will laminate, and then on day 3 you will make Palmiers cookies. So let's get started. So the first thing we are going to do is make our dough, and this dough is more like a paste. It's nothing like you've ever been used to before because we're going to incorporate the moisture when we laminate tomorrow. So all that's in this dough is flour, 250 grams of flour, and then we're going to have a little bit of salt for flavor. It's only 6 grams. And if you notice, we are not using a bowl. We are going to work on our tabletop, okay? So I took off my rings, I took off my watch to make sure your hands are nice and clean. You do not need to wear gloves. It will hinder the process a lot. And to this, I am going to add 157 grams of cold water or ice water. Just make sure the ice doesn't go in there. And then you are going to pour some of that water right into there and start kind of mixing it. If you've ever made pasta before, it's a very similar process to making pasta dough. Oops, that's okay. And then I'm just gonna mix this around. We'll be right back. All right, so I've incorporated all of my water, and this is what's called shaggy, and the students are like, it's not enough. It is. You don't want it to be too much water, so now you're just gonna start kneading it. So you just take your dough, kind of press it together, get everything off of your hands, and then you are going to fold over and knead just so it comes together as one smooth mixture. Again, it's not like a dough you've ever heard of. It could be a little tough, which is fine. Do not add more water. See how much I cleaned up my workspace just by bringing that dough together, okay? If you have anything left over, you're just gonna use your dough scraper to kind of pull it together. And then the next thing you're gonna do is we are going to put this into a 7x7 square. If you don't have time to do this today, you can always do it on day 2, but sometimes I find it's just easier to do it on day 1. So I'm gonna take my plastic wrap, just like so. Okay, I'm gonna break it like this. I'm gonna put my dough right in the center, and I'm gonna start pressing it off. I'm gonna fold over like this, and I'm going to form it into a 7x7 dough square. So what's really helpful is obviously use a ruler, 7x7 inches, but we have a template. You can make yourself a template, your teacher might have a template. You want it to be this size. Okay, so I'm gonna do that. Here's my 7x7 square. Just try your best. It doesn't have to be perfectly rounded. You'll see, it's just to make sure we're starting to get it flat for our lamination process tomorrow. Now we're gonna make our butter square. So with our butter square, you need 8 ounces of butter, and then we're gonna incorporate a little bit of flour. It is like the smallest amount of flour. It's about 1 tablespoon, okay? Then you're gonna take your dough scraper and you're gonna start chopping up your butter and incorporating that flour. The objective here is you are making this moldable because we're gonna form it into a 4x4 square. When I'm at that point, I'll come right back. All right, so we are back, and I finished mixing together our butter and our 1 tablespoon of flour, and now our butter is moldable. So do not make a 4x4 inch square on your tabletop and then lift it up and then wonder why it all falls apart, okay? Just put it as a clump right in the center of plastic wrap and then fold over like this. And now you can kind of make this come together as a 4x4. And again, another little template. You're just going to make it come together, 4x4. And again, this is just a guide. It's just want it to be as flat as you can, just like so. Because tomorrow we're gonna put this in the center and we're gonna laminate. Now, we have photos in your recipe that show you all the steps. So if you forget, your teacher may post them on the board just so you remember the steps of what things should look like. Okay, and then we're gonna fold this over like so. Okay, now we have our 4x4 butter square. Okay, don't focus on it being completely level. You're gonna put this in a baggie and we're gonna refrigerate this overnight and we'll show you how to. All right, we are back and now we are on lamination day. And so what I did was I have a little bowl of flour off to the side. I put some flour down. I unwrapped my 7x7 square. I unwrapped my butter square and I kind of sprinkled everything with flour. So now I am going to encase my butter in my dough. So again, in the recipe, it's gonna show you, you're kind of gonna fold it up like an old school type envelope. All right, just like so. And the idea here is we have a layer of dough, we have a layer of butter, and then we have a layer of dough, okay? So now I'm just gonna, you're gonna use your hand to help you kind of start pressing this out, okay? Just like so. And then I'm gonna flip it over. Okay, and now what you're going to do is you're gonna roll it out. So you need a 12 by 6 inch template, or you could just use your ruler. And we are going to start rolling this out to our first dimension. Now this is again a guide. If it's a little off, it's not the end of the world. It's just to help give you directions, some guidance. If we just said, hey guys, roll it out, you wouldn't know what to do. But it doesn't, you don't need to like fold it over or do anything like that. It's just to start spreading out that butter and dough to get your layers. So right now we're just kind of stretching it out, because when we fold, that's how we get our nice layers. Okay, so you can see I'm a little over, not a big deal. So I'm just gonna kind of use my hand to maneuver it. I'm not doing any like thing else, okay? And then we are going to put a little bit more flour down and we're gonna do our first fold. So we're gonna fold it like a brochure. So 1/3 and then 1/3. Okay, so that's one. Now you're going to rotate it and you're gonna put a little bit more flour down. And now I'm gonna roll it again to 12 by 6 and we'll be right back. All right, we are back. I have my 12 by 6 again. I'm gonna do another fold of the brochure trifold, okay? There's no butter coming out. If you did have butter coming out, you wanna kind of push it back in. That's your troubleshooting with laminated dough. So then I rotated it again. Now I'm gonna repeat this process 2 more times and then I'll tell you what we're gonna do. All right, so I finished rolling and folding, rolling and folding. So now I'm at the end of all my turns and my folding, and now I'm gonna let it set overnight. So I'm gonna do my last trifold, just like so. And then I'm gonna take plastic wrap and I'm going to seal this and let it chill overnight. And then tomorrow we will roll this out as our delicious Palmiers cookies, so make sure it's nice and tight, and we'll be back. All right, we are back with our puff pastry. So we're on day 3 now. So I unwrapped my pastry dough that we had made and laminated yesterday, and then I put down half of my turbinado sugar on the bottom of my tabletop, and then I put it on top, and then I am going to put the remainder of my sugar right up here. And I am going to roll this to be a 13 by 13 square, just like so. And the reason why you want to make sure you're rolling it into there is because you really want to make it stick. So we'll be right back when we're at the right time. Okay, so we have about a 13 by 13 inch square. It doesn't have to be perfect. Do not like fold it in like to make it exact. Just take your hand and press it to even out your edges, and then you are going to fold in. Now there is an image of what this is going to look like in your recipe, and your teacher will probably post it on the screen so that you can see. All right, so you fold in once and then you're gonna fold in again. So essentially it's going to look like a weird folded dough, but it's gonna look really cute when you cut it, okay? So now we are ready for cutting. I have my sheet pan ready to go, and I'm gonna take my knife and I am just gonna even off my sides. Okay, I'm going to start with in the center, so I have 2, in the center again, so now I have 4, in the center again, so now I have 8, and then in the center again, so I will have 16. And oops. And then we are going to put them on our sheet pan And these don't really spread, they just kind of puff, hence the word puff pastry with the Palmiers. When you put them on your sheet pan, you're gonna go up like a heart and press. Okay, so that's the traditional look of a Palmier. These are going to take about 10 to 15 minutes in the oven, and then I will show you what they look like when they come. All right, so our Palmiers are done. You can see we have some caramelization. They really shouldn't pool with fat, just with a little bit of sugar. They will harden as they cool. All right, you can see all the flaky layers. Enjoy.